Welcome to the video. It's the third video I've batched today, and today we're going to be doing a weekly update. What's been happening in my life? Pretty much weekly update because it's been about 2 weeks since I last posted, and really about 3 weeks since my last weekly update video. So we're going to be talking about what's been going on in my life, how everything's been, what's. So let's get into it. So I I have a couple of things that I've experienced. Okay. Number one is my air mattress, my $50 air mattress popped while I was in the middle of sleeping. No way. I had been putting off getting an air mat or getting an actual mattress or getting like a futon, Japanese futon, or a hammock. Those are my three choices I had, and my air mattress popped. Unfortunately, while I was in the middle of sleeping, so I woke up at 2 a.m. like on the floor, like what the heck just happened? I like hit the floor a little bit, so that's what woke me up. Um, it wasn't like, and then I ended up going back to sleep, sleeping on the floor. So for a couple of days, basically last for about a week, I ended up sleeping on the floor. Whatever, sleeping on my carpet flooring and everything, with my blanket around me and my pillow. Um, Actually, it wasn't so bad. Like maybe it's because it's carpet or whatever, but honestly, it wasn't bad. Actually, my sleep was better sleeping on the floor than sleeping on the air mattress, which is kind of crazy. Um, so that choice, I had a choice, and it was like, okay, let's. This is what happened. I woke up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. My sleep was all messed up. I was on the floor or whatever because I had fell on the floor. My air mattress finally decompressed slowly with the air coming out of it slowly over time. And I woke up right as I hit the floor or whatever. It finally collapsed. It wasn't like I got hurt or anything. I just was like, I just woke up like, what the heck? Like, so kind of shocked me or whatever. I was like, oh, whatever. And I got up. Yeah, but yeah, there was a pop in my air. There's a little cut in my air mattress. I don't know how it was. It was by my chest, which is kind of crazy. So I was like, well, I could get tape or whatever, but I was like, it's a sign. It's a sign that I need to get an actual like something that I could live on, sleep on. So I ended up sleeping on the floor for a week until my Japanese futon came in that I ended up getting. So I ended up getting one of those. And so you might ask, why didn't you get an actual mattress or whatever? Um, so like I said before, I had three choices: a Japanese futon, which is what they use in Japan, um, a a sleeping bag that you camp with. I thought about that. A hammock with a hammock stand, and you sleep in a hammock, or an actual bed. I ended up choosing the Japanese futon for a couple of reasons. Number, there are two specific reasons. One is the mattresses in America, but also across the world, they have a ton of chemicals sprayed into them because mattresses naturally catch fire really easily. Okay, so they have to spray it with chemicals, flame retardant chemicals. However, they are bad for you. Those chemicals are bad for you. You're sleeping in those chemicals for 8 or 9 hours per day. So I didn't want to have that. So I ended up getting a Japanese futon that's 100% cotton. They use boron spray, so they spray boron on it, which is a natural mineral that is flame resistant. Okay, and it's also the fluffing inside is 100% cotton, and the padding of the mattress, of the futon, I call it the mattress, whatever, is 100% cotton. Same thing. I don't want to be sleeping in polyester or any type of plastics because that's what a lot of mattresses are nowadays. Now, of course, I can get bedding and put it on top of the bedding and cover the mattress with the bedding, and then the sheets are actual like silk or they're cotton or whatever. But I was like, I'm still close to those chemicals. Okay. Um, Plus, a lot of mattresses use fiberglass in their mattresses, which if they get out, they can cut you and everything, and then you wake up with cuts all over it. So, not a good thing. Now, there are benefits for a mattress and everything. So, but I chose a Japanese futon for that. Another reason I chose it is because I've gotten the best sleep the last week or so was sleeping on the ground. So I got better sleep than when I was sleeping on my uh, air mattress, but also when I was sleeping back with my parents, when I was living with my parents and that mattress. And I looked that up. And so what it was is humans naturally, uh, in the old back days, did not sleep on mattresses. We did not. We slept on the ground. Um, and so what I've learned over reading different books about health and everything, humans are not adapted to the real world that we live in right now. We didn't have cell phone towers. That's why EMFs mess with us. Okay, if you look at the studies, radio towers mess with us. That's a reason number one of the reasons why men's testosterone are drastically lower than our ancestors. If you're a guy, our testosterone, that means by, I think the estimate is by 2030, I think like half of the guys in the US are going to be infertile because their sperm, they don't have enough sperm. Because sperm production has dropped so much partly because of the chemicals in it, but also the EMF from the radios, the radio waves, all that type of stuff, but also other stuff. So you want to kind of health wise, you want to go back into your ancestors. How did your ancestor live? Or you can also look at the tribes that still exist in Africa and in the Amazon, how they live. Because if you look at them, they don't have any problems with their dentistry. So orthodontics, I had to get braces or whatever to fix my teeth and my face shape and all that stuff. The tribes that are still here on Earth, that haven't died out or whatever, that are still around in Africa and the Amazon and other places too, they don't have any problems with that. They don't have any problems with cavities. Running wise, they're way more athletic. They don't have any problems with the metabolic stuff that we have, like cancer, diabetes, all that type of stuff. They have way lower rates than the normal U.S. population, which is insane, but people don't like to talk about it. So that's one of the health benefits is the problem with modern mattresses is a lot of them are too soft. Um, when if you sleep on the ground, your spine has to support you. Okay. So if you're sleeping on the ground, sideways sleeping is not the best option unless you use like a specific posture. I'm not a sideways sleeper on my stomach or on my back, so I don't have problems with that. If you already have back problems, I would recommend trying it. But if after 3 or a month you're still feeling pain, I wouldn't keep doing it because it can increase your back problems. However, it can also heal your back problems. If you have a bad back, if you're having bad pain, sleep on the ground, and that can like help because that's what it would mean. I okay. Let me give you an example. I was working at Walmart. Okay, with the air mattress on. Okay, guess what? I was having back pain while I was working at Walmart. Like not serious back pain, but just like soreness and hurt, everything. Guess what? I've been sleeping on the ground plus this Japanese food enough for like the last 2 or 3 days, because it just came in. But I slept on the ground for about a week. My back pain went away. I haven't had any problems with my back at Walmart or even at here. So that tells you something. That's my personal experience with me. So number one, it was health wise, but number two is um it's way easier to move. Okay, that the Japanese futon. Let me go get it real quick. This is it. That's it. It's rolled up right now because with Japanese futons, you don't want to skimp on them. So mine was about $200. I could have gotten a mattress too. However, you don't want to skimp on them. However, you want to roll them up during the day because it is 100% cotton. So you want to have them rolled up. One, because it makes it so there's not much, the bedding doesn't like get messed up. But also number two is it stops it from getting mold on it because it is 100% cotton. So it's a lot easier to get mold on and all that stuff compared to a regular mattress who is plastic based or polyester, but also a mattress is also on a mattress frame, which these can go on the floor. Or you can use specific Japanese mats to help with the mold and all that stuff. But I don't have those. I don't want to spend money on it, so I just sleep it on the floor and I sleep on. But it's not really heavy. It's just pretty big. So if you roll it out, so let me put it. Um, get like a sheet cover for it and everything because I've been using one of my blankets. I put it on the futon and then I sleep on top of the futon with the blanket covered over it, and then I have like two blankets on top of me. And I've been using that blanket as like a covering over the futon because you can't wash these as much because it's 100% cotton. You can vacuum it or you can like wet spot it. So you put water on it and like detergent and you clean it, but you can't just throw it in the tub or whatever. Or you can put it out in the sun and it will clean itself because cotton specifically, if you leave it out in the sun, um, gets rid of a lot of the bacteria and everything. So that is the thing. If you want to look it up, you can look more about Japanese futons. That's what the Japanese slept on for like thousands of years. But I've been using that. It gives me just enough comfort that it's not as bad as sleeping on the floor. So it is kind of nice. But I still have that stiffness, which makes me have to support my body on my spine, which is why I'm not having back pain. That's my hypothesis. But right now, for me, it's working okay. Maybe that futon doesn't end up working up and it gets messed up or whatever, and then I got to sleep back on the floor. I don't know. It's just an experiment we're trying. We'll see how the futon goes. I've only had it for like 2 or 3 days. And so if it gets messed up or whatever, then I'll get an actual mattress for like $200 of Amazon, or I might get a hammock and get a hammock stand so it's not like stretched off across the walls because walls aren't meant to handle horizontal force. They're meant to handle vertical force. That's how they've been reinforced in buildings. So if you're ever going to have a hammock in a building, you want to have it on like the hammock stands that are like rolls that roll or whatever. You can look them up. Look up hammock stands if you want to look up more of them. So I might get one of those. We'll have to see. But right now we're doing the experiment with the futon bedding, or I might just sleep on the floor. I haven't had any problems. Some people are like, we're gonna have back problems for like the next couple months, but that's the thing. I can always try it out. If I start getting back problems, then I know it might be the bedding or whatever, and then I try out an actual mattress. We'll have to see how it goes. But like I said, I was sleeping on the ground for about a week, and all of my back pain went away, and now I don't have any problems with it. And maybe it was because I was sleeping on an air mattress for about a month and a half. And that could have been the problem is the air mattress is too soft. But it could have also been a mattress would also be too soft. Now you can get firmer mattresses, but even the firmest mattress don't compare to the futon bedding or just sleeping on the floor. So like I said, if you want to ever try it, um, the thing with it is give yourself an adjustment period if you're not used to sleeping on a floor. If you have do it for like a month, 2 months, maybe even 6 months. Do it for 6 months to a year. See how it goes. If you start getting back pain, then go back to bed. If you get better and your back pain goes away, then use a futon. People have different experiences on it. So you have to try it yourself. Don't get off the Amazon the cheap $50 futons or whatever. Get an authentic Japanese futon or get one that's about $200, $300, $150. Amazon was hard to find good ones. So I actually went on a Japanese futon store that specifically specializes in it. So that's what I got. So we'll see how it goes. Because honestly, I could sleep on a floor if I wanted to. Because I did it for a week and I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any problems falling asleep or any of that stuff or anything. It was an okay. So that's just part of my 2 weeks. What's been happening in 2 weeks. Another thing is I visited two used bookstores, and I ended up buying a couple books. If you don't know, the video I made right before this video is my library video where I go over all the books in my library that I have. It's about 100 books, I think. that I keep in my apartment and everything, all the books I have. So I created a video. I ended up sorting all those books, and so I ended up creating a video about it and everything. And I go through all the video. I go through all the books. So that was the previous video I just recorded like 5 minutes ago, before this video started, because this video has already been like 15 minutes. So I went to some used bookstores. I bought a ton of books. I always buy books. They're an investment in myself. Nonfiction, more specifically, nonfiction. If I need to read fiction, I read fiction. I do read fiction a lot. It's usually Kindle Unlimited or it's web novels. If I want to read a book for free, and I try finding a novel on the internet that someone posted on a blog or a translation of a book from the Japanese, or not the Japanese, but the Chinese or whatever, because the Chinese do a lot of like web novels, like novels for free. I do that too. So like, it all depends if that's my fiction, but nonfiction, I like to read books and take notes and everything. So that's why last video I talked about a note stand, because that makes taking notes on books a lot, or taking notes while I'm reading a book a lot easier. So I bought a book stand off Amazon for about 8 books. I didn't get one from Barnes and Nobles because Barnes and Nobles, if it's not books, they rip you off. Probably this book stand would probably cost $30 on Barnes and Nobles, even $50 on Amazon. I got it for like $8, and it's really amazing. It's bamboo, really nice. I really like it. So what else have I been doing? College stuff. I'm getting a plane back to visit my parents. So that'll be in a couple of days. I don't know if I'll be able to post videos because I don't know if I'm taking my computer with me. I might take it, I might not. I won't take my mic if I do take it with me, so the audio quality won't be as good. Let me get closer to you. The audio quality won't be as good. It's just a fact of life, unfortunately, because I'm probably just going to take my backpack with like 3 or 4 pairs of clothes because I'm only staying for like 3 days. So I'll take like 3 pairs of clothes. Yeah, let me see. I leave on the 24th. So 25th, 26th, 27th. Okay, so 3 days. 3 days worth of clothes. So I'll do that. Maybe 2 pairs of pants because I don't know. I might get all 3 pairs. I don't know. We'll see. It's in a couple days on the 24th. So that's 5 days from now. So I got to get ready for all that stuff and everything. Um, but I've been doing that. I've been starting to count my calories. If you don't know the other video I made, I'm batching these 3 videos. So it's 3 videos in total. This is the last video I'm making today. The other video was about calorie counting. Now I realized that I wasn't eating enough calories, and so I'm trying to diversify my meal food and everything, but also because I wasn't getting enough micronutrients, or certain types of nutrients. So some I wasn't getting enough minerals, certain types like I'm not getting enough potassium, vitamin K. I think I wrote down all the vitamins, all the minerals that I'm not getting enough, and I wrote them all down. So I'm starting to look up different stuff I need to get, to cook with, so I can reach all of the minerals I need. And I can't do supplements because they're too expensive. And you might say they're not expensive. You can go on the supermarket, whatever. But those supplements are complete trash. You can look up. They've done third party testing on a ton of these supplements that you buy at Walmart or natural. I think it's Nature's Health and the other types of supplements that are like $5, $10, and they're crap. They're they're either too much of the vitamin, too less, or whatever problems with it. I don't want to go too much into that in that video. The vitamin industry is not regulated at all compared to the medical industry. Um, so which I think sucks. I think that's so dumb. So if you want to get good supplements that are third party tested, that do all that stuff, like the Thorn, I think that's the Thorn company. That's one of the good ones or whatever. I'm paying like $40 per supplement per month. So I can't be doing that, unfortunately. So I got to add stuff to my diet. So I'm starting to do that. Um, I also got one of these. Um, one of these, I'll show you. From where? It has three different things, three sections that I put stuff in. This holds my phone, this holds my keys, and this holds a credit card. I don't put a wallet, I put a credit card. And I can put this underneath my shirt and everything. So kind of like hides it. Why would I do that? Well, my apartment, I have to have to get into my apartment, get in the building, you have to scan a little circular thing, tag or whatever, and that'll turn the light green, and then the door opens, or I can pull open the door. And then I have to use my keys to get into my specific room, specific apartment. However, to do that, that means I have to have my keys on me. And I want to have my keys on me. And if I'm wearing shorts, more specifically, not these sweatpants, but shorts, it's going to be hard to keep my keys in my pocket. They might fall out or whatever, but this, I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Plus, I can keep my phone on me because I don't like keeping my phone with me when I run because my phone can easily fall out or like my phone moves a lot while I'm running. If you've ever run before, I had a problem with that in high school. So, and I don't want to keep my stuff in the car and then hope my car isn't stolen because the thing is my keys are on a keychain with my car keys. So if I leave the keys to get into my apartment in my car, that means someone could open the door to my car. And because the keys are in my car and it's one of those like automatic ones, that means as long as my keys, my car keys are in my car, I can unlock the car without having to hit the unlock button. It will automatically unlock. Or if I'm new to the car, the front door, more specifically, not any of the other doors, but the front door on the driver's side will open automatically if the key, the radio key, is nearby. And the same thing, then they can just turn on my car too, because it's like the button press one. As long as the key is in the car, and it will turn on. And so someone can just steal my car. So I can't do that. And I want to keep a phone on me just in case anything happens. Same thing with like a credit card. My wallet's too big for this, but I can keep a credit card in here. So if I ever need to buy something, I can use my credit card really quickly. So I've gotten that. And why am I doing the running or whatever? Well, New Year's is coming around. And one of my resolutions is I want to be in the healthiest year of my life. I want to gain like 20 pounds of muscle, but I also want to run a marathon. I I want to build up my endurance too, because that's one of the things that goes away as you get older if you don't keep running, if you don't keep that endurance, if you don't keep exercising. And so that's one of the things I want to do is be able to, and I think it's just an amazing goal if I can run a marathon. So I'm going to be doing that. So I need something to carry all of my stuff. And the good thing I found out is that there are trails running all throughout Charlotte, which is the city I moved to and the city I live now, moves throughout the whole city. And there's about the entrance to one about a mile away from me. Now I can take my car or I can run to that um, place because there are sidewalks on the back way, not on the main road, on the back way that lead to that trail. And so once I get on that trail, it's a big trail with that people bike on, they run on, they walk on, all that type of stuff. And it's part of like the Greenway project in Charlotte, whatever. It's amazing. I'm going to be doing that, and so that's what I'm doing. So I've figured this out. I for my goals for New Year, for next year, it's only a couple. I really only have to do certain actions. I only have to take some. If I do certain stuff every single day, I will accomplish my goals. And the problem is I have to do those every single day. So I'm gonna try to write a novel, which means I have to write every day for like 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. If I want to build my endurance, if I want to have a marathon and run a marathon, I have to run 4 days a week, 3 days a week for about 30 minutes. For the first 12 weeks, that's the program is you do 30-minute workouts about at least 3 times a week for the beginner. After the 12 weeks, then you can go up to an hour running. Long runs for the marathon, it's going to be about 3 or 4 hours running. Okay. So to do that, I have to run weekly. Okay. If I want to grow this YouTube channel, I have to make videos weekly. Okay. It's time for my bedtime. So if I want to perform optimally to cook every day, um, I have to go grocery shopping. And I have to cook the I have to reach all of my micronutrients. If I hit all those micronutrients, call, then I'll be performing optimally. And so, but that's the hard part. Combined with having a job, or eventually I'll get my accounting job, even with the accounting job and everything, it's hard to do all that stuff. It's hard to have time to read every day, read nonfiction every day. It's hard to write. It's hard to make these videos. Like, it's not easy for me. I'm a naturally lazy person, which comes with its benefits and drawbacks. Good and bad. Because I don't think it's a bad character for mine. I don't mean lazy as like really bad or anything like that. I just mean lazy as a characteristic of mine. And so I have to discipline myself. And that's the thing is, if I discipline myself for a year and I take on these challenges and I do these experiments and everything, like the one I am with making friends online, that's continually going on, and then I don't, that becomes, my life is completely changed. Okay. However, that's where the discipline comes along. And so I think that's what my year is. Like, I could completely change my life in a year, 2 years, if I stick to what I'm doing. But I add stuff to it, and I stick with that stuff. I do the marathon training. I cook every day. I don't eat fast food some days of the week. I cook every single day, have all my meal stuff, and I don't eat out during my break at Walmart because I'm super hungry. None of that stuff. Cut out all that stuff. But I have to do that. I have to come home and I have to cook. I have to do marathon training. I have to do my college classes and all that stuff. And if I don't do it, then those things don't happen. And it's not like my life, there are any consequences. It's not like I'm going to die because of it, but my life will just eventually suck. I can realize that if in a year or two my future self looks back on me, I don't want him to be like, "You suck. What the hell are you doing? Like, why did you waste a year? You had a whole year to better yourself." And the thing with me is the bar is set as super low for myself. So I could completely, it's not like I'm in the top society making billions of dollars and all that stuff, and I can life in a year or whatever. No, I don't have any of that. I'm still at like the bottom of society, which is good and bad. But the good thing, it gave me a year's time and I can completely jump myself up. I go from, if we're talking about like money wise, I can jump up to the top 60% of Americans or whatever when I used to be bottom 20%. That's what it is. That's how it is. Like, not just money wise, but in other stuff too. I end up running a marathon, run miles and everything. I run like 15 miles a week or whatever. Like, that's like the dream and everything. But that involves discipline that most people don't want to. Like, I was reading a thing where you're more likely, at least in America, to be a millionaire than you are to have your abs. Like, I'm not joking at all. Like, that's the statistic probability is you're more likely in America to be a millionaire than if you have abs. Your abs are showing because your body fat percentage is low enough, which I think is like complete craziness. But I understand it's hard to be disciplined in the modern world with a ton of food that is engineered to make you crave more stuff with all this sugar. All If you go in the supermarket, 80% of the stuff in a supermarket is poison, complete garbage or whatever. So I'm not surprised. That's why I think it's a sign of discipline. But back to it and everything. But that's what I'm coming to terms with. If I stick to my stuff, if I add some stuff and I do it and I'm disciplined for 12 months, I can then coast on life for the next 5 years. And what do I need of that? Well, if I build up my fitness or whatever, put on 30 pounds of muscle, I just have to maintain it. I'm not going to be reaching for new goals or anything like that. If I want to be lazy and I just maintain it and I work out 3 times a week and I run maybe 2 times a week for like an hour, that's enough to maintain my muscle. Okay. And then I don't have to worry about losing all that muscle or any of that for the next 60 years. I don't have to worry about my endurance or whatever. If I continually do that super easily, and it's not a lot of work, okay, compared to what I have to do to put on all that muscle. Okay, see, that's the difference. It takes a ton of effort to put on all that muscle, but then it's a lot easier to keep it. And so that's the thing. That's just like health wise, money wise. I get the accounting job making 50K a year. Let's say I don't get a promotion at all. That's fine. 50K a year means I can have this apartment. I can have car insurance, health insurance, $1,000 a month saved up to spend on stuff to better my life. Like I want to get one of those towel warmers that you put your towels in and then you take a shower and you get out and you pull out the towel and it's like super warm. Like that's always been like luxurious, like very luxurious to me, and I want to have one of those. But that's just an example of something to improve my life. Like I want to get a home squat rack or whatever to do like squats in and everything to build up my spine. So when I'm 30, but when I'm 70, like break or whatever because it's so fragile, like all that type of stuff. But or I can invest that money into an education to increase my salary. But it's not like in college right now where I have to spend like 3 hours a day on homework or stuff like that. And so that's the ultimate goal is after a year worth of work, I can be completely lazy. Okay. Completely lazy. And you might say, no, no, Tyler, you don't. What if life hits you? Like that's the thing. But I'm talking about like a normal life. Like if I don't get hit by a car and I stay in a hospital for 6 months or whatever, and I have $200,000 worth of medical bills or something like that, my life crashes down, or if the U.S. has a civil war, like if that doesn't happen or any stuff like that, then my life is okay. Okay, I'll still have this apartment. I'll be able to afford this apartment with good fresh food that I can cook every day. I'll be able to run. I have my hobbies. I can write. I can play guitar. Tons of entertainment on YouTube. I have enough money by that time with 50K a year as an accountant. Maybe even 40K would be enough where I have enough money where I can start dating people. I can start taking women on dates or whatever. Like that's enough money. Okay. I don't need a ton of money for dating, but right now all of my money is squeezed out because I have this apartment for good or worse. I'd be able to do other stuff too. I could get LASIK and all this stuff. And that money would be enough to pay off 50K a year would be able enough to pay off all my college debt, all the debt I owe, pay all that stuff off. Okay. And then I would be able, and that would also, after paying all that debt off, I still have enough money to save up about 10K for the year. Okay. So I save up 10K for the year. And then that allows me when I have to, my lease ends, if they don't let me stay here for whatever reason, it's fine, whatever. That gives me enough money where I'm not dead broke on the streets or whatever. That gives me enough money for a security deposit and all this stuff, and I don't have to worry about money. Enough money for an Airbnb or a hotel, all that type of stuff. So, but if I don't do that, my life's going to be hell in 12 months to a year. Okay, that's just subjectively. I'm going to be worrying about money and all this stuff and everything. Like I won't be able to build up enough of a security for myself, save up enough money so if anything happens, I have a couple $1,000s or whatever. I won't be able to do that, and so I'll be riding on my tailcoats, like hoping everything goes well. Compared to if I get the accounting degree, I get the accounting job, and I bring in money, but also I'm working on my health, so I don't have to worry about my health and all that stuff. Because I could deteriorate. I could gain 50 pounds in a year, like no joke. It's not like my metabolism is super fast. It's just because I'm exercising very heavily. I'm walking every day. I work at Walmart about 20,000 steps on average. I'm doing all that stuff and everything. Plus, I'm doing the training or whatever. So that like boosts my calorie burn by like 1,000 calories per day, or even more than that. And so that comes out. That's the realization is if I work hard for the next year, my life will completely change. I'll be the best of my family in all categories of my stats. So there's a guy I like to watch, gamifies his life where he has like the 5 stats, and he's also an accountant in Australia. He just finished all of his CPA exams, so he ended up getting his CPA, or it was his last, like I think in the last month he passed his final CPA exam. But he gamifies his life and he has like the money stat, health stat, aesthetic stat, health stat, whatever you call it, and the other stats too, and he just added love to it. So he waited until I think he's like 26 right now. I think that's what he said in his like video, but he waited until he's like 26 to start dating. In general, like he had experience before, but he cut all that stuff, focused on his career. Now that he's 26, he's starting to like date again. He just added that as one of his stats. Maybe I'll put that in the description his channel or whatever. I really recommend his channel. But he's an accountant or whatever, and he just got a CPA. But yeah, and he took that journey too, where he gamified his life. He got like two jobs, so he had his accounting job, and then he also had his Walmart job, or not Walmart. He had a supermarket job as a like locals. He works on the weekends as a supermarket manager, whatever department or whatever. So he makes extra money. He makes like 100K a year with the two job, and then and he's been doing that for like the last 2 or 3 years. And he like goes to the gym after work and he meal preps and all that stuff. And he's like jacked or whatever from the pictures he shows. He's very anonymous because the pictures blur out his face or whatever. But he's very anonymous. He says what he wants because he set up his channel anonymously. While me, so there is a different. That's a different philosophy than me. But I'm really motivated by him. So, but that's the question: is I've been planning out my life, and I've realized like I can completely change my life in a year. Like if I do all this stuff for a year, okay, I will have completely set my life up for the next 10 years. Like no joke, okay? Because like I said, the muscle stuff and everything, I just have to maintain all that stuff. Same thing with wealth, with all that stuff. Once I start making all that money, pay off all my debt, save up money, whatever, I can start dating. I'll have that money where I can go and start dating people and everything because I'm not worried about money. And then that's another skill because like I I categorize life into separate buckets, okay? Or stats. That's what the channel guy I watch. He says stats. So like, you have your finance slash wealth, you have your health, just, how much muscle you are, if you're a guy, physique, what's your physique like, health wise, what are you eating? You're eating all your micronutrients, all that stuff and everything. And then there are the other stats like mental health stuff and everything, or spirituality, they call it the love stat, like relationship stat, romantic stat, and then the friendship stack and all that stuff, your networking friendship, all that type of stuff. And you can categorize different buckets too. What's your status in your society? Are you like an entrepreneur who makes $1 million a year who owns like a $1 billion company or something like that? Are you normal worker? Are you in the trades? You can do like status stuff. So, but that's the thing is everything's going right as long as I discipline myself and I go towards those goals. But that's the hard thing. Most people don't want to do that. We have the job. I have that job. I work 8 hours a day, plus the 9 hour, because I have the hour break. But then I also have to drive an hour to get home and all that stuff. So I don't have a lot of time and, all that type of stuff and everything. And like, that's the excuse. Like, I could use that time to just read fiction or whatever fantasy until my life, because my life stops, because I'm not working towards those goals to improve my life. I could do that, but then, a year from now, my future self is going to hate you. He's going to smack you, be like, "What are you doing, Tyler? Like, what the hell were you doing for a year?" And that's the same thing, and it kind of scares me because I have my coworkers at Walmart or whatever who are like 30, 40 years old, and they're still working, in the online shopping or whatever. There was one of them who's named Tommy. Like, I'm not going to call him out or anything, but like his choice was, and this was in Black Friday. Okay, so this was a while ago, and he was talking about how like he got his sister, or he got like a PS4 or whatever with the help of his sister when they were going Black Friday shopping at a Game or not a GameStop, but at the place where it has a Best Buy, out of Best Buy or whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, like I went to the bathroom, whatever, and I saw that like before there were no PlayStation 4s, but my sister went and checked while I was in the bathroom, and she ended up finding one and grabbing it and running it to him, and they ran to the cashier and paid it real quick and ran out before anyone would stop them and try to get the last PlayStation 4 or whatever." And I was like talking to him about video games because I was like, "Yeah, I have I pay for a service to stream to have like a cloud computer. That's like a Windows computer that you can open up in a browser or through an app or whatever, and you can like play games on it. You could do like graphic design, all the stuff that my computer can't handle because it's a $300 computer or whatever. It can't handle video game design, graphic design, camera, Photoshop, all that stuff, and it can't handle playing video games because it doesn't have a video processor or whatever." So I was telling him that or anything, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting some games. I haven't played it in a couple of years or whatever." But I was like, "I don't like single player or whatever." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, well, you seem like a good gamer. Like, what did you play or whatever? And he was talking or whatever, like Black Ops or all that stuff in multiplayer. And I was like, I suck at those games, like the multiplayer shooting games or whatever. I was like, so how many games do you have? I haven't played in like 2 years. And he's like, oh, I've had like thousands of games. And the thing that was crazy to me is I was like, dude, you've played thousands of games. How many hours have you spent on video games? And like, I'm not bashing video games as like a hobby. Like, if you spend like an hour a day or like a couple hours a week on it, that's not bad. But you're spending hours on it, and what do you get out of it? Because the thing is he wasn't the I don't want to be mean or whatever, but he's unhealthy. He's out of shape. He's fat. That's just I'm not meaning that in a bad thing. Like I'm not saying oh he's fat or whatever. I'm just saying he's out of shape. He's fat or whatever, and like no big deal. But that's his choice that he made. Okay, and I was like, you're playing video games like all day. You're spending like thousands of hours. You play thousands of games. How many hours? Like you probably spend time after work playing video games. And like, I was like, what if you did that to like better your life? What if you went to college and got a degree and I don't know, counting for myself, that's my way to make more money. But I was like, or what if you did you went into the trades or whatever. That's what one of my coworkers he left, so he quit. And we were like talking to him or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, I got a like apprenticeship with a tattoo shop, and he's doing tattoos or whatever." And everyone was congratulating him. I was like, "Wow, it's so cool or whatever." And we were like, "Congratulations," because he got out of the Walmart or whatever. Because retail sucks, okay, and you don't get paid a lot. You get paid for me. I get paid $15 an which is barely above minimum wage or whatever. I mean, in North Carolina, it's a lot more, but for living a good life, it's not a lot of money. And I was like, so he can do that. He's learning a trade of a tattooing. I didn't even know they did like apprenticeships for tattoos or, people tattoo artists or whatever, which was pretty cool. Whatever I learned that or whatever. So I was like Tommy or whatever. I was just thinking like, what if you spent half of the time that you played video games developing a skill that betters yourself that you can make more money on, so you have more time to do other stuff or do any other thing like any creative act or whatever. And I don't know him well, so maybe he did, but I was like, there's no way you've bought thousands of games. And he talks about video games a lot. Like it's not just that was that one time. No, he talks about video games a lot. And so I was like, well, what if you spent that on other stuff? Like I said, I don't mind playing video games. I have a thing where I play video games like once a week or so just to relax, for an hour, 2 hours or whatever. um, that's no big deal. And but like if you're spending that much time on it or whatever, but what do you get out of it? Like if you're a streamer, like a Twitch streamer or whatever, and you're trying to do that, then I wouldn't have a problem with that. If you're trying to build an audience, trying to monetize it and everything, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But like he never talks about that, so I'm assuming that's not what he does. He just plays the games or whatever. And so that was what was to me. And I almost made a video talking about that. But like I said, like I could spend all my time reading fiction or web novels or Kindle Unlimited books or whatever, watching Netflix on my time after work. But if I focus all that on the college and I do my running after work because I can't do it before work because I have to wake up super early already for work, and I don't want to run on the trails or run out, outside at 4 in the morning and get jumped by somebody or whatever. I don't think it's worth the risk, okay? Because I am in a big city, so that is a risk. Like it's way not as safe as living in a small town like I did before, where I lived where I grew up. So, however, but if I do all that stuff, I do the push-ups every day or the pull-ups or I do the running, whichever one, something that's like physical for 30 minutes to an hour a day. I do my YouTube videos weekly. I do all that stuff. Then my life is set. Okay. Like my life's not perfect. Maybe I don't like my accounting job, but I'm making more money. So then I can use that accounting job to fuel my lifestyle. And maybe I use that to get a better camera for the YouTube channel. I focus more on YouTube. Maybe I do more writing and I can write more novels and I can get an actual editor to edit my novels because I have more money. For example, that's just a random example. But that's the thing is, once I have that money, I can use that to find other paths if accounting isn't ideal for me. And so that's the thing is, if I have my accounting job, my apartment is stable. Okay, my insurance is stable. I don't have to worry about my income is okay, all that type of stuff. I don't have to worry about my debts because that'll be paid off in a year max. I don't, and then I can save up money. So if there's ever an emergency or whatever, so it's like I'm playing on easy mode. But if I don't get all that stuff, if I don't get the accounting job, if I don't work out, if I don't do my writing, if I don't do my YouTube videos and build this personal brand in the next couple of years when AI will take over the internet, and then I don't have a personal brand to help me or protect me and make money in the next couple of years when AI takes all those jobs, then I'm screwed. And then my future self is going to look back a couple of years from now. He's going to smack me. And like I said before, he's going to say, what are you going to be doing? Like you had all these plans and and I do know if I follow these, I'm okay. I'll be better than majority of the people who live in America, population wise. Like I'm just saying that. Like that's the thing is, but that's the hard part is you have to do it, and that's the struggle is you have to do it. It's not like I don't have a goal. I have all the goals that I need for 2025. The problem is this: I have to go towards those goals. I have to take actions toward those goals. I can't just sit around and lay my hand in the sand and read books or whatever, or dull myself in the fantasy and the illusion that is fiction. Um, and then be like, that's a problem for the future Tyler or whatever, or if I got to fill out taxes or whatever, that's a problem because I just moved down here, so it's going to be weird having to fill out a midway tax for North Carolina and all that stuff, and then it's going to be like, well, I could just give that to my future self and just say screw it or whatever, and then wait till the deadline and then like go crazy because I have to pay all this stuff and I wasn't able to do it. No, 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 no. So like that's the thing is I have to do that stuff, and that's always been the hardest part for me. It's not deciding the goals or what should I move towards. It's always been working towards those goals. Stop being lazy, essentially, for good or worse. So that's it for the video. I've got a haircut. That was another thing. I also got a haircut. My philosophy on it, I did pay more than my old barber or whatever. That was like $40. I used to pay $40 for a haircut if you include the ticks. I paid more this time. And you might say, why would you do that? You can get a $15 haircut at Supercuts, or even a little bit more than that, maybe max $30, and get a pretty okay haircut. But this is the way I think of it. Your haircut, essentially, can increase your attractiveness or decrease your attractiveness. The problem is with this. You can, with society and how humans work, we always have our first impressions. Okay. Even if there's no first impression, you've already met this person a couple times, whatever. But people judge you based on your attractiveness. Okay. Humans have done studies on this. Governments have done studies on this. Colleges have done studies on this, that the more attractive you are, the less likely you're to go to jail, the more money you will make, the better job prospects you have, the easier you will date, all that type of stuff. And you can say that's like what the black pill is. This is what the black pill. If you don't know the black pill mentality on the internet, you should. That's internet culture now. Everyone should know about the white pill, black pill, blue pill, red pill, all the different types of pills, which are like it's about dating, but it's also about real life. Okay, black pill is like you can't change your appearance. It's all based on genetics and all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Which I don't subscribe to. I don't. But they are right about one thing: the more attractive you are, the better your life would be. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Okay, like I said, more money you will make. Your boss will treat you better. You'll be able to get dates easier. You make more money. You're less likely to go to jail. Like you just think about it. Even if it's like a 10% boost, if you can boost like a 10% on all those, so you're 10% less likely to go to jail. You're 10 less. You're 10%. You make more money. And this is the difference. You make way more than that if you're attractive. I think it's like a 30% boost, especially if you're a woman. I think it was if guys, it's a big boost, but for women, it's a lot bigger. Well, I don't know specifically like the details and all that stuff, but I do know it's part of like the halo effect. And like people will think more of you. If you're attractive, people will think the best of you. But if you're ugly, they'll think you're a creep and all that type of stuff. And so there's a real possibility you can go to jail because you're ugly. Okay, like I wish I was joking, but if you take someone who's a guy, you take him completely ugly, and a guy who's handsome or whatever, and you put them in a situation where they can go to jail. The guy who is ugly is way more likely to go to jail, okay, than the handsome guy. A handsome guy will get off way cheaper, okay? And that's just, you think about this, and I'll give you an example. You know the guy who killed who murdered the United Healthcare CEO? I think it was that, the insurance company, the health insurance company guy, I think in New York or whatever, that everyone is talking about and everything. Guess what? The reason he's getting so much attention, he's not an ugly guy, okay? He's pretty handsome. And this is the crazy part. If you look at the people who've done this before, he's not the first one to do it. There's another guy who did a manifesto. He did the same thing, attempted the same thing, but he's not very attractive. Okay, he's not very attractive. Okay, no one covered it. No one cared. After the first week or so, we'll cancel it or whatever. I can make a link to the video. I was watching a video on this, and one of the hypotheses is this killer. He's pretty handsome. Okay, he's not ugly. I mean, he's better than average, but he's not like a model. But he's okay. He's pretty handsome or whatever. Like objectively, that's part of the reason. And so, as society, you get a lot of, I guess the word is, what's the word? Latency. If you're more handsome or you're more beautiful, it goes for girls and guys, no matter what. Um, that's why one of the hypotheses is who is going to win presidency, at least in the U.S., is who, as a guy, who is stronger, who has more muscles. And if they have more muscles, they're going to win the presidency. That's like a crazy conspiracy theory. Like that's a theory that people like politically, they're like, who's going to win the presidency? That was like a meme, but people were like, that's kind of true. Okay, if you look into history or whatever, who's more physically dominant? I guess he could have more muscle, he's stronger, all that stuff. And that's just presidency, but we're just talking about like in general. So my question is, do you want to mess your haircut for $15 supercuts? Or would you rather pay extra money for a really good haircut that boosts your attractiveness, maybe by 1 point or like 5 points, or at least if it doesn't boost your attractiveness, gets you a little bit closer. Um, so I like my haircut; it's pretty nice. I'm gonna go back to the guy. He talked me through why I'm doing it or whatever. I do use texturizing powder. He showed me how to use it. That's what he used. So right now it's kind of messed up because I was out of the shower or whatever, and I don't have any texturizing powder. But maybe I'll take a picture of it and post me with all styled up and everything. Texturizing powder is the only thing hair product that's worked for me. Using gels, clays, or anything, my hair is super straight. That's what my barber he was telling me or whatever. Apparently, he had been in prison like 10 years ago. He was a quiet barber, but he was talking to me or whatever. He was white or whatever, but he had been in prison like 10 years ago. And he was like talking. He was like, "Yeah, yesterday, in the actual barber shop." So I went to the barber who was in the mall. Okay, so it's in the South Park Mall. It's the biggest. It's like 3 floors. This mall. It's a huge mall, biggest mall in I think in Charlotte. Okay, and I had a hard time finding it, but I found it or whatever. I went there and like right when it opened. I had the appointment set for it. I had set up an appointment online for it. And he was like talking. He was like, "Yeah, yesterday, whatever, last night, he had an event in the barbershop. They let him do it where he had like 250 people show up because the barber he had gotten his life sober or whatever. So I think he went to jail for like drugs or stuff like that. So he was like, "Yeah, I got myself like sober or whatever, completely fixed my life, and now I'm a barber who makes a ton of money or whatever." And he was talking about that. And I was like, "Wow, cool or whatever." But I had been there or whatever. But I was like, he was giving me like a thing. He was like, "What do you want to do or whatever?" After he had put the thing around me that stops the hair from getting all over my clothes. And I was like, "Yeah, can I do like a texture fringe or whatever?" I think that's what I said or whatever, like a taper on the side or whatever. Instead of like a fade or whatever. And he was like, "Well, you have the hair for or whatever." He's like, "You got super straight hair or whatever." But yeah, we were like talking or whatever. But I really think like if you can boost your attractiveness like a couple points, or at least not lower it, then like it's 100% worth it. That's why I'm saying like if you're a guy, okay, or a girl, because a woman will get more beautiful if she goes to the gym, 100% if she works out, even if it's not the gym, like she just works out. Normally, I don't, if she has a sport that she does a couple times a week, something like that, something that like makes you physically active. You will be more attractive compared to women who don't. And same thing goes for the men. as a fact of life, because as as our ancestors grew up running miles every day, working out every day. They didn't have working out. Their lives were working out. They were in a farm. They were doing stuff. They were out in the land for 8 hours a day, working hard, towing the land with a hoe and everything. So they didn't have to worry about it. But humanity, evolutionary, grew up with that. And so there's a mismatch in the real world when you don't do that. And so that's why if you're any type of athletic or any of that type of stuff, you're more healthy, and that's what attractiveness is. Okay, attractiveness is how healthy are you from a biological standard. Like no joke, like I'm not kidding you. That's what scientists have come up with is how healthy are you, so then you can attract the most mates because someone's going to mate with you if you're really healthy, if you show signs of healthiness. Okay, and so that's what the principle of attractiveness is how healthy you are if you look back on it and everything, and all that. So, but back to it and everything. So I think it's worth it to invest more money into that stuff. Just like I think it's worth money to invest money in a skincare routine because that improves your attractiveness. And if you do it long enough, you get skincare. Now it might take a long time, just like if you go get braces or whatever to increase your attractiveness, and you straighten your teeth. These are your teeth are all crooked or whatever. That is an ROI on your life, a return on investment that is massive. That filters on to the rest of your life. Okay, and so that's the that's the thing I was thinking about. That's my thing is like, why would you go get a 15? Now I understand if you can't afford money or you don't have money for a better haircut or that's the best barber you can have. But like, I'm serious. If you have the money, it's one of the best ROIs you can do. Same thing as going to the gym. Okay, because you feel better, you have more energy, you look more attractive, all that type of stuff. You're less likely to die in old age. Same thing with diet. If you eat a good diet, if you eat whole foods and everything, you're not eating fast food all the time and all that type of stuff, then you're gonna look better. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna be more attractive. Okay, over the long term. So that's my question to you. Do you take the return on investment? And like I said, 20% is huge on all aspects of your life. Okay, because like I said, first impressions. So if it only does 10% across your whole life, then your life will completely change. Okay, because it echoes across your whole life. And so that's part of the reason why I try to become more healthy every year. I try to become more attractive because it's one of the best ROIs. That's why I don't invest much money into the stock market. Right now I have $500 in the stock market. I had some money saved up for my old job 2 years ago. I put all that money in the stock. I put $500 in the stock market. Haven't touched it since. Haven't added money. Haven't taken out any money. And I'm more likely to take out in the next year because this is the thing you got to realize. I can get a better return on myself than on the S&P 500 or on certain stocks. Okay, and some people might be like, "That's crazy," or this or that, but it's not. It's not. I can make all that money back. I can invest stuff that improves my attractiveness. I can get a gym membership or get a personal trainer and train all myself or whatever. If I want to learn something new, maybe I want to learn painting. I can get a painting instructor. If I want to learn, I want to better my career. Okay, because the stock market's all about wealth. I can spend the 10K money I in the stock market into getting trained to become a better accountant, or using that money to buy lunches for people I admire so I can sit down with people I admire and talk to them and pick their brain 30 minutes a day. Okay, that would be amazing if once a week I could sit down, talk to someone I admired who was further along in my life, and all I had to do was pay the cost of lunch. Maybe it's $100 for lunch for the two of us at a good restaurant. I get to make a friendship with this person, learn more about them, learn how they and in reverse engineer their success. Um, I think that's worth it. And over the long term, that's way better than getting a 10% return on the S&P 500 if you invest, overall in the market, which is the right thing to do unless you're willing to spend hours a day learning about the stock market, learning about different companies, really investigating, companies. If you want to be like Warren Buffett and really dig deep into companies and investigate them and be like a police officer who investigates criminals, but you do it with companies and all that type of stuff to find that edge to make 20% a year like Warren Buffett does, great for you, but that's going to take hours every single day to do it. Warren Buffett spent hours every single day looking through records of different companies, their financials, how everything did. And then once he started investing, he started calling up these companies, talking to people about them, going to their executives, seeing them and everything, like scoping out these companies or whatever outside of the normal stuff that people do. And that was the edge he was able to create to get double the returns, which made him a billionaire because he did it for 50, 60 years. And that's the trade off, too. You got to do it for 67 years. Okay. I can work out, put on 30 pounds of muscle in 2 years and then maintain that for the next 60 years. Okay. But with the S&P 500, if I do that, or even with Warren Buffett's method, I make 20%. It will take 20 years, 50 years, 100 years to make up billions of dollars. Now you become a billionaire, but you can never take that money out until it snowballs, to billions of dollars or $100 million. And so, when you're putting in a majority of your income to those investments. So that's the drawback to it. So that's the way I see it, is essentially this video is I've learned everything I need to accomplish my goals in the next year. But the hard part is I have to be uncomfortable. I have to get dirty. I have to do hard work. And I got to be willing to do it. But if I do it, I go forward with it. A year from now, my future self will be like, you did it. I'm happy for you. You did it. My life has completely changed. I won't have any financial instability at all. I won't have to worry anything about that financial instability like I do right now. It's always on part of my mind. I have barely enough money to scrape by or whatever, but if there's emergency stuff like that, any type of stuff, I can do other activities. I can accelerate my learning, my investment in myself using money. I can buy back my own time, all that type of stuff. But it's a year, okay? But I believe I can do it. I'm going towards it. So that's the end of the video. That's just a couple things that have happened in my life the last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks since I've uploaded a weekly update video, 2 or 3 weeks. Thanks for watching. I've batched this video, so this is the third video. The last video, it's pretty much 9:30. I gotta go to sleep. Hopefully my trash valet guy has come, because they're always late. I hope he's come. But that's it for the video. Have a awesome day, awesome week. I don't know what I'll do. I think I have Wednesday next. It is Friday. I think I have. Let me pull up my journal. I wrote down all the days I have. Oh, but I batched videos. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it is. But thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. I believe in you. Go towards your goals. Like once you have those goals, you gotta be disciplined. That's the hard part. That's the very hard part. You only have so much time in the day. You're always so tired after work. But you're building a better self. And 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that person will thank you. Your future self will thank you. I 100% believe it. I think myself that 2 years ago I started this journey. I think myself the 2 months ago. I think myself like, good job. I'm happy you did it. Everything. I'm happy you moved out. But also 2 years ago when I came home from college. Actually, really, it's been 3 years. Really, 3 years. I always say 2, but it's really been 3 years. I'm happy you came back home, to your parents, reset your life, did all that stuff, built yourself back up, saved up enough money over 2 years of work to reinvent yourself. And so that's it. That's just the amazing part of life. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week or in a couple days. I don't know, maybe in a day or two. I don't know. I batched this video, so I might post this video on Sunday, or I might post all 3 videos today on Thursday. I don't know. Whatever it is. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. Go towards your goals. Take action towards your goals once you have those goals. And your future self will thank you. I know I did. And that's coming from myself. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching to the end. I know I don't really take advantage of the medium that I can be of video. I'm mainly speaking to a camera and a video. I'm not doing any stuff in the background, so it kind of, I guess, I'm not taking as much advantage as I could be on this medium, as I could be. But I don't know. Maybe you guys should just put this video while you're cleaning or cooking or whatever it is, and just listen to me while you're doing work or whatever it is. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a while. In a while. Let's go. Let's just say in a random day in a random time. Thanks for watching. So I always give. I try to do that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.